Hello, ECOAquariums family. We have a 220-gallon tank at Family Ferris Karate in North Bay. This is his dojo. The theme that we're going with here, the tank's a little murky right now. Whenever you start to plant the tank, there's always going to be an ugly stage to it. You're either going to get algae blooms, all these other things. You really got to wait for everything to establish and for the plants to spread. So you play around with all that. So I'm going to be helping Andre with all of that. Right now, we got a little bit of that, but eventually it's all going to clear. We're going to get some SACPE clarity in here that's going to pull all that out of here. But what we're going with is an ECOAquarium type mountain style scape with dragonstone, and we have a bunch of printer green pargo here. We're going to get some more plants for him, and all of this is going to spread into a very tight grass. And then we're going to put a bunch of fish in here. It's going to look like birds soaring through the mountains. But we're going to do lots of barbs and tetras and stuff like that. Lots of fast moving fish with lots of action. So this is what we got here, right here. We've got all this fish. We're going to start putting fish in there. So we're going to show you guys that in a bit. We'll be right back. Okay. So we're going to save the best for last. So he wanted a big school of bleeding heart tetras. This is a great tetra, especially for a tank this size, because they get fairly large for a tetra. We're not going to have super big fish in here, but they do well with things like geophagus, angelfish, your bigger South American fish, and they do great in that. So we'll get these guys in. First group. Okay, there we go. Oh, I love that. They're gonna go with their other friends. He's already got a little school in there, and they are already buddies. They found their new tribe. Your tribe is your bud. Okay, bag number 2. He wanted a chameleon whiptail pleco. Sometimes you need to treat yourself to some fancy plecos. Andre treats himself a lot though, which is good for me. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that right in the bag kind of thing. Okay, so the funny thing, get nice and close here, Andre. The funny thing about these guys is often when you put them in the tank, it almost looks like they're dead. And they just kind of flop to the bottom and then they sink. And that's what they do. It's almost like a survival strategy because they kind of look like a dead leaf or something like that. And they chill. So he's gonna look awesome in the tank. And what else do we got? We have 10 Amana shrimp in here with some Vallisneria. We're gonna see maybe what the Vallisneria looks like in this tank. We're gonna play around with it. But if it's not good, we'll just kind of take it out. But we're just gonna put it in a pot for now because it spreads like wildfire. And it's an awesome plant. A lot of people will have these tanks, have a tank of Vallisneria just with that plant alone, and that looks awesome, especially if you kind of create a rock structure in the front so you have some open space, and then it's just like a little jungle in there and the fish love it. So we're gonna pour these guys in with the Vallisneria and then grab it after. So we got some Amanos in here, and then we'll grab that Val after they detach from it. See if they go off of it. There they go. They like their little house here. So that's your cleanup crew. And obviously he's got room for lots more. If he ever gets a ton of hair algae, then that's where those guys are really good for that. And also Amana shrimp, they're not only just good for hair algae, they're the best hair algae eating fish in the hobby. But they're also good for getting all of the little pieces of fish food that get in all the little nooks and crannies. So when they consume that food, then that makes the whole system function better biologically because it makes sure that there's no leftover fish food, which you don't want, in order to keep the water quality good. So, wait, I want to save these guys for last. Okay, so he also got a big bunch of the Java Fern Narrowleaf that I had. This is a beautiful plant. He got a big chunk of that. We might spread that a little bit on the rocks, etc. and so forth. What else do we got here? Oh no, that's for my dad. And he wanted a dwarf Mexican crayfish. So it's going to be fun to watch these guys every once in a while cruising around the tank. What's cool about them and what's funny about them is they think that they're big, but they're not. They can't really catch fish. I've never personally seen them catch a small fish. I've kept them with small fish. But what's funny is because they still think that they're big, they'll jump up on top of a rock and then they'll jump down and sort of parasail down thinking that they're gonna catch a fish. So we'll put this guy in here, let him float down. And there he goes. Cool little critters in there. So these guys, they like eating peas. So if you take, frozen peas, you take the skin off, they like that. They'll eat leftover fish food, they'll eat all kinds of stuff. Now he's bugging the, the marble whiptail pleco. So it's cool having these guys. Again, another good scavenger to pick up any sort of leftover fish food and stuff like that, right? And it'll be cool to see them cruising around. Okay, so this is the best for last. So at Andre's dojo, his logo, turn to the logo, Andre. That's his colors of his logo, right? So we're not gonna have, all the fish are not gonna have that color, but he wanted a lot of fish that have that black and red coloration to them. So we went with black ruby barbs, okay? And maybe we'll show you a little bit of description of those. He went with black ruby barbs. He went with some nice rosaline sharks. And what was the other one? Odessa barbs. So they all have that black and red kind of color. So these guys right now don't have that color, but in time, that color will come as they get fully mature. So now we're gonna put these guys in and I'll show you all the individual fish. So I love barbs because they're super active and they eat like crazy and they're gonna look amazing in this tank. So the rosaline barbs, they're gonna get a nice big size. This is a 220-gallon tank. It's 6 feet long and it's very high. How tall is this tank? Is it 30 inches maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
So the rosaline barbs are a big fish that school together, which is amazing when you see them at that full size, but even at this size, they have a great color. They look amazing in angel tanks with discus, but we're gonna do lots of barbs in this tank. And then the Odessa barbs are kind of like the silvery color right now, these guys here. But the Odessa barbs, which we'll put a little picture of them right now. That's them. And then the black ruby barbs get that nice black in color, which I'll put a picture of them right now too. And that's those. So this is the tank, guys. If you come to this dojo or you check it out, it's gonna look amazing. And I'm gonna bring you along for the journey. We're gonna document the progress of this. The water is eventually going to be crystal clear. We're just going through the beginning stages right now. And then when the plants all grow out and spread, it's going to look amazing as well. So that's it. Thanks for watching. If you guys need to learn martial arts, come to Ferris Family Karate. Is that the name, right?
Yep.
And support Andre. And we'll see you guys later. Thanks. Peace and love.